Here we go then. High build primers. I'm using the Standox U7530. It's quite a versatile primer. It's got a few different mixing ratios. Typically you'll mix it 5:1 for a small repair, things like that. But any heavy repairs, and I like to do it on plastics. As you see here, there's quite a lot of plastic that we've had to sand back to the raw plastic. So we've mixed it at a 7:1 mixing ratio, which gives us a bit more film build, and you know, like I said, nice big filler repair, something like that. But if you've primed many plastics like we have, they tend to fur up if, you know, there's a lot of raw plastic showing through. So that extra film build that we're going to get at 7:1 is going to help massively just to calm that furriness down, you know, get it covered, and then you shouldn't have to reapply any primer or anything like that. So we're using the 7530, using the 1020 fast hardener, and I'm actually using the U7535, which is an accelerator which will air dry this primer in about half an hour. So what we tend to do is pull jobs into the oven that need primered, put a coat of primer on them with the gun, chuck them back out the oven, and then, you know, go to lunch, whatever, come back, they're done, ready to be blocked down. And we're not doing anything fancy here, it's just everything's normal. 3 coats of primer, full fan, full fluid, everything sprayed at 2 bar. You know, nice and easy. It's not anything crazy. You know, the eagle-eye viewer will have noticed that I've been going to town cleaning this, and it's just as important for me to clean this as much as possible as it is to do with any base and clear. It's the same respect that I give this part. Your paint has to stick to this primer. If your primer's not stuck to the substrate underneath the bumper here, in this instance, if my primer's not stuck to that, it doesn't matter how good my paint is. If it gets, you know, round to the jet wash and they put a big powerful jet wash over the top of it, all the paint's coming off. So I need to ensure there's no dust on there, there's no dirt, there's no nothing. This has to be as clean as possible. So I just do a normal process as if I was painting it. Solvent degreaser, water-based degreaser, nice blow and tack as you notice here. And then that rattle can that I picked up, I don't remember the name of it off the top, but it's a adhesion promoter. And it's just a bit of cheap insurance over any of the bare plastic showing through. Is it essential? No. But, you know, when you've got it to hand, you know, not every DIY painter maybe doing it will have adhesion promoter to hand, but we've got it here, so I'm going to use it. Like I say, cheap insurance, nice light coat, and you know, it's nice as well. It dries real quick, and that's part of the purpose of this video. We've put the accelerator in here in our high build primer, and as soon as it mats off, it's ready for the next one. I know some people will tend to stick to like flash off times, give it 15 minutes in between coats. But really, with sort of primers, throughout my career at least, like I say, this is how I do it. As soon as it mats off, it's ready for the next one. And look at this gorgeous gun here as well. Bit of a story behind this gun. It was the very first spray gun that I'd ever bought. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, FAIC. And it looks like it's based on an old SATA 2000, a bit of maybe a cheap knockoff back in the day. But I bought this in 2005. It was the very first spray gun I ever bought, and I was an apprentice at the time, just learning, trying to get my head round, you know, doing some stuff. But one of the painters said to me, look, instead of just mucking about, get yourself down to, there's a local shop here called Air Care, buy yourself a gun. What we'll do is any bits of leftover paint, we're going to give them to you at the end of the day. Chuck your panel in the booth and you can have a little squirt of it and, you know, get some practice on your belt. Excellent. So there's me, straight down this shop, go to the counter. Can I have a spray gun please? Yeah, no problem. What needle nozzle do you want? And there's me scratching my head, thinking, right, don't want to look daft. I'm not sure what you got in stock. She goes, oh, there's a 1.7 there, is that any good? Perfect. 1.7, whatever that means. So, and, you know, I've gone back to work the next day. I'm like, here, lads, check this out. You know, got my gun. And they all just stood there laughing at me. They're like, you've bought a primer gun, you know, so I guess you're going to be on priming. So, you know, that's kind of where I got my start. And if you notice, if I get back to the video rather than my life story, I was just pointing out there is some spots that have started to sort of ring up. Maybe not quite as furry as I was saying, but you'll just see here I'm putting the air over it as well. And as soon as it mats off, it's ready for the next coat. So the areas that I'm ringing up, I am putting quite, you know, this is a 1.7, this spray gun. So it chucks out the product, but I'm just, oh look, there's a furry bit. Bash another big wet one on the top. And then I'm just going to go back round with the air. Almost similar to a sort of water-based base coat. Just blow it dry, and as soon as it mats off, it's ready for its next one. So again, this is one of the reasons we use this. It's nice and convenient. Quick blow. As soon as it mats off, another one. And you'll notice here, you see these sort of oversprays, almost a triangle in the middle between this little bit on the corner, this bit I'm over here, and the main part in the middle. I like to put a coat over that at the end, on the final coat. So this is my third and final coat, just giving it a bit of the wind air out of the gun. But on the last coat, I'm making sure everything's covered, everything's exactly how I want it. Get that nice good coat on there, and with whatever's left in the gun, I'm just going to go back and tidy up all the overspray. So like I was saying, there's a little triangle here, so I'd point it out, that little triangle. Nice light coat over the top of that, and that makes it so easy to sand. I see some people ignore it, and then you've got all this rough area that needs sanding, but you know, that's it. 3 coats, cheap gun, and a silly story. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks.